All right, everything that I present is based on chemistry and ancient texts that were not just one source, but corroborated around the world. And most of this work was done by Velikovsky in the 50s and 60s, or actually earlier than that. But it was long before there was computers and blogs and all the fake stuff that we have now. He read the papyruses, the text, the Bible, and all of the ancient religious texts, and Mayan, and all of that stuff, the tablets and everything. And the truth is that we are totally don't have an idea, no clue whatsoever about our history, because it's been suppressed. And I have right here, I show, and I will give you the absolute factual chemistry that cannot be impeached. Nobody on the face of this earth can refute the things that I am about to show you. It is impossible. And I would like for Stephen Hawking to confront this evidence, because he's telling people that there is no God, and I have literally proven the existence of the texts that talk about God. Now, whether he's real or not, I don't know. That's up to you to decide. But the texts and the chemistry play it out and verify it 100%, and it cannot be disputed. All right, I study mud fossils, and I've been claiming for years that all of the well, not all of them, but most of the structures and things that we see around the earth are made from CaCO3, which is calcium carbonate, and I will show you in depth about this. But you see this right here, CaCO3, and I say they're made from tendons. All that stuff is tendons, and it's from tendons that were buried in the earth and petrified from creatures. And you see this? That's connective tissue. Watch. Right here, chemical analysis of the formation of calcium carbonate, exactly what we're talking about, on connective tissue of the dog. All right, remember that. All right, now we're using all this stuff from the Fair Use Act. This is geology.com, and I'm just commenting on it. There's no profit to be made here. Now, calcite. CaCO3, exactly what I was just talking about. What does it say? Calcite, a rock-forming mineral with a chemical formula of CaCO3, extremely common, which tendons are literally indestructible. They're made out of mineral, and found throughout the world in sedimentary, metamorphic, and igneous rock, which all of those three are products of life. They are not products of the things that they say they are. Geology is wrong. Now, some geologists consider it to be ubiquitous mineral, one that is found everywhere, and they are correct, because the earth is made of these tendons. And I'm going to show you these tendons right now, and then I'm going to show you proof that there was some kind of advanced life here driving around on these tendons as they were drying out after the Great Flood. And all of this stuff is a product of the Great Flood, which drowned gigantic creatures, literally miles tall, and petrified them in this soup of organic death. All right, these are what I call as the tendon strap boards, and these are literally rectangular boards with a textured, stripy little surface on them that are separated along planes and literally break out of here in little squares, and sometimes in other tissues they're like hexagons, or 6 or 8 sided, but they have a crystalline structure, and they therefore create squares or angular pieces. Now, they make what they call an abrupt transition. This is not fully understood, but it's not fully unknown either. These are the normal straps of tendons, and going back down in that direction, they anchor, and going up in this direction, this slurpy stuff they come through, which has vascularization, and then it goes out to muscle, which attaches right to here. And I'm going to show you this in this video, which will demonstrate this quite clearly. Now, this is a blood-rich vascular area which gives enough support to the tendon straps to keep them alive. They're not flush like normal tissue. Now, then this literally glues these straps. They break off almost like somebody cut them with a knife. It's incredible. And when I show you where these things are on Earth and how big they are, you're going to flip out. Now, this glue glues to the muscles that go that way. Now, I'm going to run this video and you'll see exactly what I'm saying. Hold on a second. Here it goes. You ready? Now, I'll sort of describe this as it goes along. And this is the exact same structure that's up on, Comet 67P. See this now? Look at this little fluting. This is very important because you're going to see this now. That fluting is what they call a synovial sheath that covers this. It's fascia tissues. Now, so here we've got the little blocky stuff. Then we go into, see the black, that's veins because the blood can't come back, and that's FeO2 blood. And this is the red area, which the holes blow out because veins are open. See the red? That's the FeO3, the oxygenated blood. Now, this is you see two things going around here. This was a video I did before. I'm just done doing all these videos. I do them over and over. Nobody watches them. I think I got like 50 hits on this over months and months and months. Anyway, these are, see these little white things? They're mineralized little spots that are this is where you get this calcium and the minerals, and that is what bonds. Now we're going to go out this night. Watch what happens. This transitions from here, which is the abrupt transition, through this goopy stuff that glues it together, literally. This came right out of a body of a creature. Now we're going into the striations of muscle tissues. And this is all found in the earth. They're what called the foliations of the earth. All these patterns are everywhere in the earth. The earth is made of creatures, and the earth is literally a living creature, which has a lot of ramifications about what we're doing to the earth. So I'm just making this known. Now, these are the vascularizations that feed the blood, and then they always break off right here where the muscles start to transition. And this is exactly what you see on Comet Churyumov, whatever the name of it up there, 67P. And they have a lander on there right now, and it has sampled the gases. Look at this. That is, and here it is up on Comet 67P, and it's sampled the gases, and they are polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which is cooking gases from meats. They're amines. It's fully understood, and they're considered carcinogenous. Now, what happens is, as this thing is floating through space, it's getting blown off. All the smoke coming off of here, that's just like coming off of your gas grill, only it didn't explode with gases. I mean, there's not enough oxygen to make it burn. Now, watch, you'll see that this is the tendon enthesis point down at the bottom, this ball, and I have them here too, and I have one I show you on here. It's identical. There's no question it's the same thing, and you can see the structure so clear that it can't be denied. Now, these are the streaming jets of these aromatic polycyclic hydrocarbons. And that means that they are the burning gases that are coming out of these vascular entries. That's what they are. Those are blood vessels. Those are not, they're attachment points within this anchor point. Now, as they go through this video, I say, okay, here's how and this is what they do. These pine cone looking things, they actually grab into the bone, and then it's covered with a layer of red pasty like stuff that protects this inside your bone from tearing you to shreds, because it's all very, very sharp. Now look at this. I have the exact same thing. You see this? This right here? I'm going to show you. Hold on a second. I'm going to get one and show you exactly the same structure. Alright, look at the top. You see this little round java right here with the little holes in it, and then coming down the fluty looking neck thing here. It's hard for me to get my finger. The fluty looking neck thing. Then it comes down. This is a round. You see that? That's a round structure. That is a tendon enthesis. This is where it breaks off the strap, and the strap ran back over the top, and that's where this vascular, this cellular looking area, that's the strap that connects to this stalk, and the stalk connects to the ball, and the ball is implanted in bone, and it's covered with this red goopy stuff that keeps it from tearing the shreds out of your bone, because it's the spikiest stuff. It's unbelievable. And this is exactly the same, exact same structure, the exact identical same thing that you see right there. Those two are literally twins. I don't know if I'm getting this where you can see it right, but see that ball right there? It's very, very apparent. And the top, there's that little stalk, and there's the stalk there. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to figure that out. It's what it is and what it is. And this one here was combusted somehow. And I think this might have come through the atmosphere, or maybe it was in a fire. I have no clue. But I can tell you what it is, and it's exactly what it is a tendon enthesis point within some kind of a bone structure. And these, you can see the cellular strap that runs down to that. See that? That's the rest of the ball. That's the ball here. That's the whole structure is a ball. And that's what happens inside of your bones. They lock in there, and that's what keeps your muscle that runs off this way from pulling out of your bones. Alright, this is from the specimen I showed you with the tendon boards in it. And as you can see, it's a small, this is right in front of a screen from a computer. Now, this is the same as this. And you see this right here? Somebody has cut a hole through that, and they cut it through this, the red slurpy layer, which is just red oxide from blood. You can just screw right through that like it was nothing. All the caves in the world are from this same sort of stuff, and I have some that I can show you right here. It's from a different type of, it's called limonite, but you see this right here? Hold on. That is, you see all the way around the world, they have these things with the caves stuck in them. All of the Aborigines live under there in places like that. These are tendon straps, and that is the tendon strap right there over running across the top. They come in like this, and they lock in like a claw, and those are the sharp little plagioclase teeth. And I have some other ones. I'll show you a picture of that too. Alright, you saw those. Now this is in another specimen that these are the teeth, and these are literal. See, remember I showed you the other thing? That's the round ball like that, and it comes up and it grabs right into the flesh. It's eroded away, this flesh here, and fortunately so that I could see this, and it's eroded away because it was laying in such a manner that it did erode away. But these will not erode, because those are as hard as they're literally spikes of calcite, CaCO3. It's that same stuff. Alright, this is from a video that I did from experiments of electro-mud fossilization. This is a process that creates mud fossils, and it's a process of electricity that invades the tissue and seals it, because silicon is the primary component of skin tissue. It's 50 times more prevalent in the skin than it is elsewhere, and that is what protects you, and it's very abrasive, and you got some pretty tough stuff covering your body in the skin. Now, that is, it's silicon, Si, that bonds to oxygen in the water, H2O, which is the O part, and it gets you in the silicon dioxides, SiO2s and SiO4s and all that business. Anyway, that's chemistry, but it works. Now, it seals it, and then minerals start to invade, and this is chicken tissue that was in platypolar silicates in electrical conditions, which is exactly what happens in the earth. They're called spontaneous potentials. All of this, I didn't discover anything. I'm just observing what happened. Now, out here, it goes through, and let me see, I'm going to show you some of the, I want to get to the, here it is. Now, here we go. There is the smoking gun right here. This is the CaCO3 of the tendon connective tissue. And it's, again, this is fully understood. It's a collagen type 1. It's highly mineralized. It's the same thing that forms your bones, calcium. I mean, there's like 24, 25, or maybe more, not even now, different types of collagens and also different types of keragens. And these are the things that make up your body. Some of them separate things from other things. Some of them are, are different types of tissues, and they make up different structures and all of that. And the body just uses them and says, okay, I need a little of this, I need a little of that, put it together, make some bones, and here we want to plug in a tendon over there and make sure that you got the right kind of goopy stuff so that it doesn't hurt the guy's body, and then it just builds things. And that is what happens, and this stuff never goes away. And the University of Copenhagen has determined that people from the 60s still have twice as much radioactivity in their tendons only. All the rest of your body got replaced except your tendons if you lived through that time frame. So that's the key about tendons. They never go away. And they end up becoming olivines, plagioclases, and exactly what is said is all over the earth and virtually makes up most of the crust of the earth. Alright, notice this structure right here at the end. You see these little cuppy looking things? The fiber comes down and it's fed with blood on the inside there. Right coming through here, and I'm going to show you that on it. See that? This is here and here. Same thing. Hold on a second. Alright, and here's that same structure on Comet 67P. You see? These are the little bundles, and that's exactly what they are. Here, and this whole thing is one little bundle strap, and it broke off there. Now, these are the fibers, which are the planks, the boards that I call them, and you see they're separated? Those would come right out of here. That's what's called fascia. Fascia covers every single, literally every cell in your body, and it's one continuous web of fibers that continuously covers everything in your body. So when they crystallize and solidify in minerals, they are separated from each other and they literally crack apart on these planes. All these things, the stones at Baalbek are literally natural stones. They picked them up off the ground. They might have cleaned off this little fluting stuff off the tops of them and scraped them down, but that's about it. And I'll show you, there's no question, this is absolute fact. And the chemistry is there to prove it. All you got to do is do a couple of tests, guaranteed. Once again, Fair Use Act. This is strolling under the skin. Excellent, excellent video. Now, I'm going to let this play because we don't understand any of this stuff literally yet. Now, this is the tendon straps that I'm talking about that turn square, and there's a zillion little straps within the strap. Now watch this.
Relationships between the tendons, the sliding sheaths, and the vessels, and to challenge the very foundations of the classical school of thought.
See, there you go right there. Hold on. Now, she just said it challenged all of the theories that they had. And every time they find something, it challenges them because they've never gotten to the right point of the beginning. Because the universe and every single thing there is was alive or is alive now or will become alive. And that's just the way it is. Now, you see this? Remember this. I'm going to go back here a second.
Reconstructing flexor tendons.
Now listen.
Little by little, this new vision of anatomy began to throw light on the relationships between the tendons, the sliding sheaths, and the vessels, and to challenge the very foundations of the classical school of thought.
Okay, here it goes. You see
During
how
the
it leaks?
revascularization following the
That's
release
where
of the
that
garret,
little hole is.
we observed that not only the tendons
see it?
extremities
What's
bled
that?
with an apparently circular longitudinal and peripheral
Exactly. Hold on a
vascularization.
second. No, okay. I don't have to go too much further here. You see, she just showed you that was exactly the blood came out from where I showed it on the. Now look at this. You see these? These are the boards that are within the tendon sheath. The tendon sheath is the little scrappy looking stuff that may end up being on the top here, but these are all separated along these planes. It's just the way life is. Now life is a biological column. The tiniest things we see are living. They probably have these things too. I don't know. Nobody's looking at that, I'm sure. But all the way up to things, Comet 67P, it's like 4 kilometers wide, I think. These tendon straps up there are city blocks wide, at least. Now, Baalbek, those tendons are exactly the same as these. And that's just the way it is. And I'm not making it up. You can see what you see. Now here's a smoking gun right here. There's the where she was squirting the blood out of the other one. They form into these blocks. You see those little stripy things at the top? That's that. And these break off just like somebody cut them. Nobody cut that, I don't think. You know, I don't think there's any cut marks at all on there. Now, you see these little holes here? Those are the vascular entries that feed these things. There's little tiny blood vessels here and there, and those were probably to feed the sheath, because this is virtually inert, and these are everywhere around the world, everywhere. And those blood tubes run through, and that's a source of a lot of water. And they knew where to find water because they knew where the vein structures were within these particular pieces of creatures. Now, they've done studies of tendons at the University of Copenhagen, and they found out these things literally never deteriorate, and I did too. And I'll show you the chemistry that I did, and I'll show you the chemistry they did. I did literal tests on it, and I'll show you really what happens to tendons when it starts to petrify. By the way, this is the video that I have up on. It's called Baalbek Stones Appear to be Natural and Not Cut from a Monolith. Okay, I always promise a smoking gun. Here comes the smoker. You see these tire patterns? And you know what a tendon looks like. Well, let's see what happened here thousands of years ago, shortly after the Great Flood. These are the tendon straps, you see them? They're identical. Now, if you look at that carefully, I guarantee you are going to see the exact same patterns that we looked at before, except this monster tire truck rolling over this tendon when it was wet, and then it solidified. And if you see over here, that's the blood, that slurpy stuff that we talked about. That's the sheathing, the synovial sheath they call it. And this is the mineralization, and you can see exactly identical to the patterns that I showed. And if this was, I'm not sure where this was. I think a fellow named Gregory Tiki Veracocha posted this. And somebody knows where this is, and I don't know exactly where it is. But I can tell you one thing. That is a tire track from a vehicle that was designed to crawl over wet surfaces. And I say this was a landing crew that came down, apparently, to check out what happened after the flood, see what was going on. That's all I can say, because this and this were thousands of years ago. I would say at the time just after the Great Flood, and I'm not sure when that was actually, to be honest, but it's sometime long ago. That's the smoking gun. Try to resolve that and the things that I have just shown with the science that we are being taught and the history that we are being fed. You're going to not be able to swallow that, and it's making everybody sick.